Let us talk about a very efficient folding bike accessory. Very efficient kasi if hindi kailangan ay pwede mong itiklop. O di ba? Parang folding bike lang natin na nare-reduce pa ang size if hindi gagamitin. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. May dalawang klase ito ha, isang thin wire at isang thick wire. Definitely, mas mahal ang thick wire dahil mas matibay compared sa thin wire and mas mabigat. So, sa kapal ng bakal nagkakatalo. Itong nakikita nyo ay thick wire. The selling point of this is that the size can be reduced when not in use. Nakakabit man siya sa folding mo or hindi, pwede mong itiklop para naman hindi bulky tignan, walang alog, at parang integrated mismo sa bike. Folding bike users use handlebar bags or luggage bags, typical front baskets or crates when carrying their things on their bike. And very typical sa mga lagayan na ito ay maski na walang laman ay naka-open pa din. Kumbaga isang option lang meron ka. It's either you install your basket or you don't. With this folding basket, if let's say na-deliver mo na yung mga bagay na nakalagay doon, ay pwede mo nang i-fold sa handlebar mo mismo, giving your bike a minimalist look as compared to a regular basket. Maganda siya if let us say you are using your foldy for exercise and on the way home ay may nadaanan ka mga pagkain or any pasalubong, at least ready yung lagayan mo. All you needed to do is to unfold or open your basket. O kaya naman ay mag-grocery ka ng kaunti, so while papunta ka ng store, fold muna to achieve a more sporty look. Again, compared to a regular basket lang. Then, unfold na lang para malagyan ng grocery items. So that's actually the basic of it. Now, let's talk about the disadvantages, which pwede mong palagpasin since madali lang naman gawa ng paraan or that these are generally acceptable lalo na kung galing ka sa paggamit ng basket na gawa sa bakal. Unang-una dyan ay ang bigat. Lagpas ito ng 1 kilo, so if you're a weight weenie, then definitely this is a turn off. Another is it is made of steel, so syempre may tendency na kalawangin. Third is that it is only for a straight bar or a T-bar type of handlebar. May 2 hooks lang kasi na pangkapit sa handlebar, so if you have a different handlebar, baka hindi mo maisabit. And hindi siya flexible. So, that means you have to probably arrange your cockpit or handlebar setup para mailagay. Another thing is that open siya or walang takip. But then, majority naman ng mga bike baskets ay wala talagang takip. It is really up to you to make your things waterproof in case umulan, which is madali lang naman. Meron din mga feedback na maalog siya. But if you put it in context, folding basket kasi siya. Meaning, hindi talaga connected or fixed ang mga sides niya. At syempre, nakasabit lang kasi siya sa handlebar and walang brackets na naka-attach sa fork. Meaning, if you compare it to normal baskets with support brackets, ay definitely mas stable ang mga ordinary baskets. So for me, ang pinaka nakikita ko lang talagang legit na issue that we really can't do something about is yung bigat niya compared sa plastic baskets. But again, if you are used to using steel baskets, this is a better alternative. Now let's proceed with the installation. The package includes 2 pairs of nuts and bolts with 2 silicone barriers. It also comes with 2 protective silicone sleeves. The first step ay ang paglagay ng silicone sleeve sa dalawang hooks. Yung iba, sakto lang yung sukat, yung iba naman ay masikip. Pag masikip yung silicone mo, pwede sigurong lagyan mo ng oil baka umubra. Alternatively, if wala ka nito, pwede mong lagyan na lang ng goma yung handlebar mo para hindi magasgas. Ang distance between the hooks ay 2.5 inches. Fixed distance yan and as I said, hindi siya flexible sa part na to. That means sa isang area lang mailalagay sa handlebar which is sa gitna lang. So if you have other accessories na malapit sa gitna, you may want to adjust them. Sa folding bike ay walang problema in terms of the basket height kasi mahaba naman ang stem all the way down. Unlike sa mga naka-mountain bike na yung iba ay maikli ang distance or clearance from the handlebar to the front wheel. So, you have to consider na dapat meron kayong enough clearance para mailagay yung basket sa MTB nyo without having to improvise. So, pag nakapwesto na ang basket, all you needed to do is i-screw mo na. Like any other front bags or baskets, tatama naman talaga sa cables yan or sa madaling sabi, may ipit niya talaga ng kaunti yung cables. So if your bike configuration is sensitive about this, then this may not be for you. In my case ay wala namang issue sa braking or shifting. Actually, pwede mo namang hindi ikabit yung screws para ang maging dating is tanggal kabit ko na lang sa handlebar ng basket. Pero take note lang na there could be a possibility na matanggal siya sa pagkakasabit pag nalubak ka ng matindi kung mabilis ang takbo mo. Ito yung tipong pangmalapitan mo lang siya gagamitin. Ito optional pero malakas makadagdag sa stability. Since parang wire mesh lang naman siya, pwede mong lagyan ng malaking zip ties sa gitna para kahit paano ay makabawas sa alog-alog. Sinubukan kong gamitin yung basket nang hindi kinakabit yung dalawang screw just to see if it could work, and unfortunately, hindi ako komportable sa ganung setup. Umaangat kasi ng konti yung hook and nawawala sa alignment. And I don't want to have to check it from time to time while riding. And I really have to be extra careful pa sa mga lubak kasi nga baka matanggal pa at syempre sayang yung mga pinamili mo pag nangyari yun. So, to have my peace of mind ay kinabit ko na lang yung dalawang screws, then added 2 cable ties for the sake of stability. So ayan, naka-install na. Let us try and see if makaka-apekto ba sa pag-fold. So yes, naka-apekto ng kaunti with my Dayhon Discovery pero negligible naman for me. Manipis pa din naman ang fold ko even so. But it could be a different story with your bike. So you might want to consider this as well.
This is how you open it. Press mo lang na konti itong front part para walang resistance pag inangat mo yung lock. Ayan. Notice na pag inangat mo nagkakaroon ng space. So pag inangat mo na yung lock, walang friction. Okay? Pwede mong bitawan agad-agad, but be sure na hindi tatamaan ang kamay mo when it snap kasi masakit din yon pag pumitik. Or you can simply try the careful approach. Just make sure to hold the right sides when opening each wall. Yan, hahawakan ko to kasi magi-snap siya. Okay? So ito yung unang side na magi-snap. Okay, so lock na siya. Dito siya naglalak. Prevents the front part na lumagpas. Okay.
Sinukat ko mismo yung basket and eto yung measurements niya in inches. So, that's length by width by height, and yung pagsukat ko ay edge to edge or dulo-dulo ng pinakamahaba. To better understand, yan yung green dots. Diyan ako nagsukat. Nilagay ko na din ng secondary measurements just in case you want to estimate kung kasya ba sa handlebar nyo. May legend naman sa illustration so hindi ka maliligaw. For instance, HH means hook height or yung hook mismo ng handlebar, and it's 3 inches. I-pause nyo na lang if you need these details. Pagdating sa space, it depends syempre sa pagkukumparahan mo. But in itself, it already presents an awful lot of space. In terms of its weight capacity naman, ang nakalagay sa ads ay up to 20 kilograms daw. Now, we have to remember na kadalasan may pagka-OA ang mga ads. I won't even place a 10 kilo worth of grocery items on this. But for my needs, okay na siya. As I said, kayang-kayang gawa ng paraan yung not so good aspects niya. So if you ask me, this is the best folding bike companion in terms of luggage containers or mga lagayan ng gamit na hindi naman ganun kadami or kabigat. Like pang quick grocery runs lang or pasalubong or errands. Ang ganda kasi ng concept na you can fold it when not in use, so hindi siya bulky tignan sa bike mo. Unfortunately ay wala siyang fail-safe device. As you can see, isang hook lang ang nagho-hold sa kanya sa pagkakasara. Now, wala naman itong problema except sa mga bata. If you have kids at home na mahilig mga likot, alam niyo na, kids being kids, just imagine if nai-unhook nila yan. Definitely ay pipitik yan ng malakas dahil sa springs. So may possibility of injury for the kids. So think about it when storing this with your bike. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope I was able to provide a bigger picture of the item. Leave a like if it helps you referencing, comments for questions, and I'd be willing to provide additional info for you.